Welcome back to Dyson Sphere Program. Now, since the last episode, there has been some rather severe changes to the base. As you can see, there are still some production lines going on here, and the main reason for that is I wanted to make sure that I got enough landfill, because what I have done is prepare an area or some areas down here, and I'll probably have to landfill more of these. But of course, having landfill isn't enough. You also need to have the soil piles. So I have to find somewhere that has some inclination in the terrain as well, as in upwards inclinations, so that I can get soil piles, because I don't have enough soil to fill up all of that water. So this will be most likely, or not just most likely, this will be torn down, because I don't feel that I want to have all this mess up here. And it's more, well, it's easier to have things centralized. But let's take a look at what I have done. As you can see, I've built some buffer containers for these, and that's primarily because I want to use hydrogen, I mean, as fuel. It is more efficient than coal, and it's not like I have a severe lack of any of these. I've disconnected these. Everything is currently running on wind, which I have an abundance of wind turbines currently, so I was thinking that I'd make the North Pole kind of like a wind farm, and maybe we'll go with solar nearer to equator. Or actually, another option might be to build solar on both the North and the South Pole. That is not a bad idea at all, because then you would basically have all the output of the winter solar summer. Winter solar summer. That. I'm not sure what I tried to say there. Let's try that again. It means we would get the polar day both on the North and the South Pole, so that when this hemisphere is in the dark, the other one is in the sun, and vice versa. But we'll get around to that when it becomes relevant. Now, one thing that I've found, I wouldn't say, well, yes, I would say annoying, is that it's kind of difficult to measure out the ratios in the game unless you're very good at maths, and that is not my forte, ironically, since I do enjoy these kinds of games immensely. So whereas these things say that they produce this and that, when I've checked with the calculator, someone just imported all the numbers from this game into the factorial calculator at shadowtheage.github.io/factorial So it is the factorial lab calculator, and some of the numbers there did not make sense at all as to what I was looking at. I'll get back to that later on though. So here is one of the main production areas. This is one of the areas that is not ratioed correctly at all. I think these 8 here that are using stone can supply 5 or 6 of these high purity silicon, but to be honest, I'm not sure. The calculator did not help me very much either, so I am looking forward to a proper calculator. In certain areas I am using the splitters, in certain areas I'm not. Here I'm not using it because it's just a small segment, but I've found that if you use these T-junctions, it doesn't always make sense how it prioritizes the belts, whereas with a splitter you at least know, and it will alternate between the inputs and the output. I hope they reduce the hitbox size of the splitters, but it's fine. I'm not too bothered by that. It's not like we have too little planet area here to deal with. Here I'm producing the magnets. And again, I'm using the splitters here to make sure that everything is up and running. Now, I believe these are producing yeah, 40 per minute each. So 80, 160, 320. So I'm overproducing these because I don't have the belt speed. So this is a Mark II belt, which can carry 720. So I could probably tear some of these down to save power, but yeah, I just can't be bothered. This is one of the places where I should probably use a splitter. You can see what happens here. Not that it's an issue currently, but yeah. Then or rather, it would be a merger here, but I like that this is a multifunctional. It's both a merger and a splitter in one. So I'm harvesting iron, and I'm liberally using the rotation function that I said I would never use, because the output of these, as I think I mentioned in a previous episode, depends very much on how many nodes it is covering. And then we have 2 of these, no, 3 of these. I don't, this is not ratioed at all. I'll leave the ratioing for others. I'm mining stone here and I'm mining stone here, so I should have plenty for the production of the silicon ore, and also for the stone. Now down here I am smelting down some copper into copper ingots. Again, this is probably a place where I should use a splitter, not a merger, but it seems to work, so I've disconnected the fuel generators here, and the reason for that is that the game currently doesn't have a stop burn function, so these will just continue to burn even though you don't need the power from them, so be aware of that. Also producing some copper here, and I think I got enough out of these. Yes, I did, so that I can support 12 smelters. Here we are smelting down with 18 smelters. I'm getting quite a bit of iron out of this area here, but I think I'm underproducing. No, I'm not actually, because I have that iron vein over here. So one thing that I probably should have done was to merge these into a belt, because now we're getting to the bus area, and as you can see, I'm using a space of 1 in between the belts, and that is so that I can fit these because of the hitbox. So they will fit here and allow a belt to move on. But if you have them side by side, it gets a little bit more finicky, because then you'd have to take a belt above the splitter, and I'd rather just have a space in between. The reason why I said that I should have done 1 belt is because of this contraption down here, where I'm splitting off 2 belts into 1 belt, and I could just have made 1 Mark II belt instead of 2 Mark I belts here. It would have saved space. I haven't really bothered with that either. Out here is the new production area, and this is where the frustrations of the calculations really got me, because these, if I take this one, it says it produces 45 per minute, but it isn't producing 45 per minute, it's producing 90 per minute, and I don't know why it says 45. So I discovered that you have to actually check this, your replicator, and see. Like this one, it says that it's times 2. So this one is producing 45 per minute, but it's producing 45 times 2 per minute. And how did I find out that? Well, I found it out by having 1 Mark I belt going all around, and these machines filled up the belt, so this one didn't output anything. So yeah, that was a bit of a small annoyance. And I have forgotten to put up these again. Keep in mind that you need to have 2 of these. This one takes 320 per minute. 360, I mean, per minute. So you need 2 of these for 8 of these. You can click this thing to it will say you what the length of the grid is and how many trips it is making per second, which is useful. You can also click a belt to see what its speed is, how many nodes it has, what the total cargo on the belt is, and so forth. Also the length. So that is useful. Although I think it's only the length of this one. Next up we have the gears. That's taking one Mark 1 belt, so full 360, to produce gears. These actually produce 45 per minute, which is enough for one Mark 1 belt. And I'm storing these here. And I'm leaving some space in between each of these because I want to take these out onto the bus. Here we have circuit boards. These have the same thing as the magnetic coils do. They say they produce 45 per minute, but it's 45 times 2 per minute. So here again we have the Mark II belt. What I've done here is very simple actually. I have a Mark 1 belt coming down here, and then it just merges on to a Mark II belt when the first machine has its output here. So yeah, this belt is just a placeholder to show me where I want to have the machines. And I'm leaving 2 in between, or rather 3. The one for the output and then 2 more, and then the next section. And this is about as far as I've gotten so far. So the next thing we need to produce here would be prisms. Let's make sure we have enough space. Just do like this. One thing that I want badly is... Oh, they have added that. Right. That must have been added in a very recent patch because I could not upgrade belts earlier. So that was something that I really missed. The ability to like up and downgrade belts without having to deconstruct and dismantle them. So yeah, that's good that they've added that. Okay, so we have 3. And then we need to have a belt going that way. And we need a machine. I have no idea how many prisms one machine makes. Let's... Oh, I don't have any glass. Let's go get some glass. Thank you. Probably need to set up a glass production facility somewhere as well. I don't know if I have that. Probably 45. Might need some power. Let's copy that. Close that. 22.5 per minute. But it is the double of that, so it is 45 per minute. So this one is actually doing the correct thing. So 45, 90, 180. We need a belt coming in. And then... And I am building east to west, not north to south. And that is to avoid those weird lines there that create all kinds of weird things on the belts. So 90, 180, 360. And that will require... How much glass? Probably 360. Let's just assume that it will require 360. I've forgotten to place power poles on these. This is in case I want to extend the production lines. Okay, so we go down here, and then we go up. Then we go down again. And we go down. and I'd like to have this little turn here. That is strictly not necessary, it's just my personal taste thing. Copy the storage mark II and put that there. And one of these should do the trick. Now we need glass. Am I producing glass, I wonder? What is this? This is high purity silicon. This is stone, so I'm not producing glass. That gives us something to do. I need a stone. Do I have any stone veins handily available up here? Just not that one. I have one down there, but... Okay, we'll go with that one then. And this is what I mean by the why I'm building east-west, not north-south, because this happens because of the grid changes, because of closeness to the pole. Let's get some soil pile. Yeah, as you can see, you can build landfill without actually having that ugly concrete on the ground. Which probably is kind of weird to hear me say, considering how much foundations I'm using when I play Satisfactory with the concrete. But there I don't have a choice. If I want to use foundations unmodded, I need to use what the game provides me with, which happens to be concrete. This is nice, lots of soil pile. Oh, I'm out of foundations. That's fine. I got 132k, which is good. Now, how much do I need? Smelter... I think I need 1-1. 2 to 1. So I need 720 stone to make one belt of 360. I keep messing that up. 380, 360. What is it? Let's see. Let us check the calculator. It is 360. Okay, that means we need miners. That's in the way. Can we please close these? Yeah. Getting enough coverage here is going to be problematic. I would very much like it to cover that one as well. That looks good. Sure. Now, I'm not sure how much this will produce in total, but we'll get some power down here and we'll figure that out. So... I don't know where I'm going to build the smelters. Maybe here. Probably there. So let's remove that again. And we want to mark 2 belt. I need that to come in here. That's going to be a slight little challenge. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. . and we get this weird little squig. That's fine. Okay, so power, we can put that here. And then... how many do I need? $12? I think 12. Let's double check that. I don't have any stone. Well, that shouldn't be too hard. Hello. Thank you. 30 per minute. So 30, 60, 120, 240, and 360. There we go. Seriously. Do not ask any questions. It is better if you don't. Not sure why I made this a Mark II belt. Yeah. I can do it one by one, but it's not ideal. So they haven't added what I was missing. A full option to actually upgrade a belt. Or downgrade it. Oh well. Well, good thing I discovered that now then. There we go. And we need power for these. Which means that I'm probably going to tear that one down and put one here and here. I'm convinced that a belt should fit. Yes, it shall. There we go. We don't consume much power currently, but that's because so many machines are powered down. Now, one question that I do have, and I'm going to check that just to make sure. Lack of item. Really? Okay, so we don't have room for another row there, so I'd have to use landfill if I wanted to have another row. But that's fine. I just wanted to check it. That means we can use splitter. Regular one, please. That's too close. But we'll do it there. It's a good thing you can jump here. There we go. This is probably overproducing massively, to be honest, but I need 720. That's 198. That's also 198, so 400-ish. Okay, so okay. So I'm not overproducing. It's right under 800. So yes, I am overproducing, but the overproduction is minuscule. Let's do like this. And this one goes out there. Wait. That's not gonna work. That's better. To be honest, I think I want to use a splitter then. I don't trust the balancing here. It's too close. How about there then? We can remove these. That's better. And we need a splitter here as well. That should kind of do it. Oh, that actually collides. So there, and then up there. I've also found that placing these every here and there is not a bad idea. Just so you get some charging from these. Okay, let's just stand within the radius of this. That's not correct. Come on, game. That needs to go in there. And I'm pretty sure that needs to be a Mark II belt, to be honest. No, it doesn't actually, because I'm overproducing a little bit on each of these, so it doesn't need to be a Mark II belt at all. Yay. That was a bad location for it. There we go. Now this should be enough to give all of these what they need. That's those out of the way. And that's those out of the way. Okay, so now I believe we are producing... That's the question. Are we producing 30, 90, 180, 360? Well, I'm overproducing currently. 30, 60, 90, 120, 200. No, I am not. Sorry. Mathematical error. Get used to it. Big question is, how am I going to get it in here? Can I? Okay, I'll make some of those then. Yeah, no, I cannot. Okay, so what I'll do then is a very simple little... workaround, like that. Let's see here. There we go, and... we'll just have to continue with this. I do like to take like 2 of these at a time, so that the poor little robots are able to keep up. There, now it's on the bus. Let's stop here. No, it's fine, because it's going to be a while until we're going to pull it off. Okay, now, as you can see, I've just built some belts here so that I have a certain idea of where things are. I'll do the same here. Because we are going to have to pull this off here. Just put those down as placeholders. Put this here. And I'm not going to connect it yet. What I will do instead, use arrow up to make sure that you use the uppermost output, is it? There we go. And now I can remove this belt. And I can connect this up. Before we do anything else, let's make sure that these things get what they want. And we need one more belt so that it looks uniform. That is important, of course. And then let's make sure that they actually deposit it on the belt. There we go. And we want to have prisms here. So what I will do is I'll go over here and I'll empty this container and put them into the container here. I need to recharge my mecha very soon. Now we can just dismantle that. Let's go down here and we can place one of these. I think there, and then on the same grid that would be here. I need to go pick up some more helium. Put all of those in there. Sort. I'm keeping 100 in my own inventory just because, you know, could be useful to have. Handcrafting is still a thing. Now this thing is magic. Doesn't require power, but it's able to lift things up and down. Not sure how. Can remove that. Now let's see if this actually works, because I have a suspicion that only the first 4 here are going to get glass. But it all depends. They need to fill up first, since I'm using an array. And it looks like they're doing that very slowly. Yeah, that was one that went over there. Now they've started to fill up. 15 is the limit, so these ones will now be getting products. The question is, will these fill up or will they just empty out? So 45... Oh. Okay, so one of those got one, but as far as I can see, this is correct. 45, 90... Oh, 45. 45, 90, 180, 360. So this should be the correct ratio. I don't get it, to be honest. It's a bit confusing to me. Anyone who have any comments or suggestions on that, I would be very, very happy if someone has some tips on that. I know there are videos out there that talk about the ratios and stuff like that, but I am avoiding them very, very much because I want to get my own impression of the game and to learn things on my own before I start looking at other people and what they do. So yeah, this crude oil seep here is going to be interesting. I can't build anything here because I need to reserve this for refineries. I don't strictly don't need, but I can't build on it, so it's gonna be in the way. Okay, let me just update my spreadsheet here. I am having 8 assemblers and using 360 glass, which should produce 360 prisms. At least that's what I hope. If they don't, well, I'm sure you guys will be able to offer me some assistance. I might need 2 belts, or rather a Mark II belt, to be able to support this, but it doesn't make sense to me. I'm like massively confused as to why, because this obviously isn't producing 360 at the moment. But I think that we've gotten a fair expansion of the factory. We are getting ready for producing more products. What comes next would be the plasma exciters, and of course the electric motors, and then the electromagnetic turbines, and then kind of like a mall area where we can have conveyor belts, power poles, sorters, and smelters, and assembling machines, and probably also storages. I also need to make steel and put that on the bus. But yeah, I think we are making progress. Thank you all so very much for joining me, and as usual, questions, comments, especially if you have comments that help me figure out this stuff, the ratios, will be very welcome. There's also our Discord server, of course. You'll find the link to that in the description. And I will see you all in the next episode.